So much for women's intuition, because if women's intuition was a thing, there wouldn't be so many single mothers.
Women's intuition is a myth.
The most well, I don't think it's a myth. I do believe it's make believe though.
I don't think so, personally. I think it's real. I think the problem is that people are raised to ignore red flags, or they're so desperate they're going to ignore what they actually do know. So I
Intuition
think
comes
that
from experience though.
there sometimes, right?
By
The
definition of
truth
the
of the
word.
matter is that
I'm just at a loss because I'm like, I don't even know where we are going with this conversation anymore. However, I just feel like if you are dealing with a woman that really likes you, is invested in whatever it is that you're invested in, and she believes in your leadership, submission is not something you're going to have to fight for, my opinion.
Agreed.
Agreed I agree with that. Comes naturally. You become submissive just for
Exactly.
it. You take the role
It's
that
just
was
gonna
given to
be
you.
it's just gonna flow with it. So
Yes.
if you're
And you
combating
don't argue.
against a woman who you have to fight for submission, then it's- something is disconnected there.
would you say
Shit, she
she's
might
not
not be
attracted
smart
to that
enough.
man?
She
Oh,
might
go
not
ahead.
be smart enough to know to submit to a good man. That's also that.
I'm sorry,
But
I didn't hear what she said.
who?
No, Willie made the comment that she might not be smart enough to submit to a good man. Is that what you said,
Yeah.
Willie?
Like who teaches you
Women
that's
have
a
Well,
good
I
idea?
have
mean,
the
if
capacity.
she's not smart enough to submit to a good man, then why are you with her if she's not that smart?
That's like us
Again, that's a
asking
you problem.
if he wasn't going to be a good father, why'd you get pregnant by him? You don't know that until you know that.
So
Well, I
I
think
Okay,
put a
but
most
question.
if we're gonna
Yeah.
go into a conversation like that, I can go back to Willie's point where he said that he was talking to a girl for maybe 4 to 6 weeks before he even took her on a date, and I'm pretty sure that in that time frame he had enough time to figure out if she was smart enough to submit to a good man or not. Maybe.
Right.
well,
So, but the thing is, you used a extreme, which JW pointed out. That's not normal. Most people don't do that. So
What's
that would
not
be like
normal?
me that for someone to vet women the way that I do. That's abnormal. That's something that's a learned
Okay.
behavior. That's not normal. So you
Okay.
pointing out
So how
someone
long
doing
does it
something
take
that's
for you
rare.
to figure out if she's smart enough to submit to a good man or not? How long do you think that vetting process takes?
I don't know, and I can only speak for myself.
well,
Okay. Who was the one who asked the question? I'm sorry.
I was, uh,
Or
I
who made the
was,
statement? How long does that process take for you?
Who are you asking?
Yeah.
Sorry, me?
Whoever made the comment
Oh.
that she's not smart enough to submit to a good man or something like that.
I
Oh,
said,
that was
what
Willie.
if she's not smart enough? Because what I was refuting was the fact that you're saying that if a woman likes you enough, a woman can like you and love you to death. If she doesn't know something, she
I'm
doesn't
not
know what she
saying if
doesn't
she
know.
likes you enough. I said if she likes you and she's invested in your ideology and she believes that you're a good leader, then the submission will come easily.
Right. Well, you said okay. You
That's what I
said if
said.
you just do it, but again, if she doesn't know, that's what comes next. Women need to be taught that that's a good idea. It's not inherent. If you look at a lot of niggas, right? If you look at the average man right now, I would not want a woman to think by default that she should submit to a man because the majority of men aren't leaders. I'm on record saying that I think a lot of niggas are losers. I'm not saying the majority because then niggas get mad and start getting death threats on Instagram. But the majority of men aren't worthy of being submitted to. The majority of these niggas aren't even worth being submitted to at work because they're managers. So I wouldn't want a woman thinking by default she should submit to a man just because she's a man. I would though think that women should be taught how to identify a man who is worthy of submitting to, and then by seeing examples of that while she's before she's of dating age, and not having to figure that shit out when she's 30, 35, 40 years old with 3 kids.
Willie, based off of what you stated, do you feel that's why most women do not submit nowadays? Because most men are not worthy of being submitted to?
I would say that most women don't submit because they don't have access to the men that are worth being submitted to. That's
well, Toya, I think here's another perspective. So most women, if they like you, they're going to start out submissive. That's just how that works, right? You're going to start out very feminine. But I think to Willie's point, it's going to be hard to see. It's going to take time for that to come out. They're like, who are you really? because it's that honeymoon phase, right? You're attracted to him, you're gonna be soft, but eventually your ideas and the way that you not even just your ideas, because a lot of women know better. That don't mean they do better, right? Like when you look at the Dwight Howard wife, right? The video that like after they got back together, she got a perfect video. She was talking her shit. She's like, yo, you need to listen to your husband. You need to stop talking. Y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. And it was just like she knew exactly what to say and she knew better. But eventually, it's what do you put into practice?
Now she posted videos with cocaine and Ziploc baggies and shit. So again, this shit is it's performative.
I mean, I can't really understand your reference because I don't know who you're talking about, but essentially, yes, she may start off in a submissive manner, and then as you guys go along, you might find out, who she really is and what her true colors are. But I mean, that essentially still goes with whatever guy she's dealing with. No. So if she's starting out submissive and then as the months go along, she becomes non-submissive or whatever, and she starts talking back or doing things or whatever the case may be, what happened in that? Is it something she just said, oh, I'm no longer going to be submissive, or was it something that he did to trigger that?
He's not responsible for her behavior. She is.
It was her. So, a lot of women have never actually been with a man that was a real leader. A lot of them, right? Have just never actually been. They never been required of certain things from a man. So as they just start to come out, how they've always been in relationships starts to come out, and certain men will show you like over time, like, oh, he's been making good decisions. Like it's like he said this was going to happen and it happened, right? So over time, you start to see, like, okay, maybe my anxiety can relax.
Or is it that over time she started to realize that he's not a leader but a loser?
I don't think that's normally what it is. No, I
don't know. He said that a majority of the men are losers, so I don't know if that's true. Can't really believe that.
So much for women's intuition, because if women's intuition was a thing, there wouldn't be so many single mothers.
Women's intuition is a myth.
I don't think it's a myth. I do believe it's make believe though.
I don't think so. Personally, I think it's real. I think the problem is that people are raised to ignore red flags, or they're so desperate they're going to ignore what they actually do know. So I think that
from experience though.
There sometimes, right? The truth of the matter is that I think a majority of women who are raised with honorable men around them will start to see certain behaviors and peace out. But if you're raised around dishonorable men, you have been conditioned to ignore those red flags when you meet another dishonorable man. So even though the alarms in you are kind of sounding, you're like, well, I'll give him a chance, or this, that, and the third. So I think women do have to take accountability in that they ignore the BS. And I mean, we all done had a girlfriend who everybody was like, girl, don't talk to him. But I mean,
or if they're not raised around men at all, right? Like if they don't have
any
man really to look at, and they only have women to look at, you can have a feeling that something might not be good for you, but you're psyching yourself out of it because you're questioning your own beliefs because you really don't know. You have nothing to compare it to.
No, ask for the fellas. Have y'all ever been like the first good guy a woman has had before? Like
it's not a good look. It's not a good look because they don't really know how to receive it.
What do you mean by
that? But I wouldn't call it intuition. I think we're missing it. I think it's more learned behavior.
That's luck for her. I mean, for like if for a woman to be 35, 40, and then she get with you and you the first like solid nigga she's ever had, do you think that tells you a lot about her more so than it does you, or the world she lives in? Because the common denominator between her and all the fuck niggas before you is her. And you being the first good nigga, you're gonna have to combat all of that shit, all of those bad habits she has, because she's been like, dick L fuck nigga before she wants to go get with a good dude.
I hear you. I wouldn't say good. I would say definitely solid. You're not wrong. I don't think, generally speaking, even if a woman has a good example, and I have seen this father, brother structure, women individually are themselves. They have their own desires. Like they may be able to see and experience a daughter love, a brotherly love, a family unit love, but they put romantic love in its own bracket. and by nature, I think they're kind of rebellious, generally speaking. So you actually see them try to, in a sense, venture out. But solid, yes, I'll say a lot of women. I have been quite a bit of girls' first solid, because they kind of minimize your male performance metrics based on what they assume is normal, you know. And then I want them emotionally intelligent until you start saying, sweetie, why are you always late? Why do you talk like that?